he's curated a website called Crooked Cuke that you can access if you want to see the totality of the eccentricity and the devotion of David's mind. And there are still lots of lectures there that are unedited, which are actually some of my most favorite Suzuki Roshi, because one, I mean, this is my take on it, is it the lectures are sort of in half Japanese. I mean, it's American Japanese. There was some quality in Suzuki Roshi that people loved. That was more than now we have. I mean, you can feel it in the books, but to read it raw and unedited, and one of the things that I love the most is there's lots of parentheses that say laugh, is that he laughed a lot, and that's edited. You don't note that. I mean, you can sort of pick it up that there's some sense of humor, but that inspires me. I think, oh, this is okay. We can do this. It helps me. So you might want to look at that website. Announcements. Tomorrow is the monthly faith vigil at Railroad Square from 5 to 6. If you want to come, it's supposed to stop raining. The Redwood City interfaith group did, they made some beautiful plaques of people who have died in detention and been killed by ICE. And we'll have those, and we'll read the names. And then I guess there's 200 people showed up for to learn some of the songs that they've been using in Minnesota. Someone sang it with us last month, one called "Hold On," and they're really beautiful. So I think some people are going to come. And
I think you said Railroad Square. I think you meant Courthouse Square.
Oh, excuse me, Courthouse Square. Thank you. Yes, always track me. And then on Saturday at Green Gulch, Chelsea and I and Jennifer been doing it for years. Some of us, Jesus ceremony for children who have died. You're welcome to any of it. Okay, 30 verses on consciousness only. There's a lot of people here. It must be working somehow. People have gotten scared and gone away. So one of the thoughts that was coming to me as I was sitting is the beauty of Zen is it doesn't give you much. It just says, okay, there's no advanced practice. It's just like, okay, now just sit. I mean, there's nothing hidden. But it's also like being thrown in the middle of the ocean. It's like, it doesn't give you many things to hang on to. And there's all these early teachings, and then I'm finding too in Yogacara is, there are little handholds might be helpful or not. But basically, it's just the ocean. So don't take any of it too seriously, and pay attention, because these are ancient teachings that have been passed down that helped bridge early Buddhism and Mahayana, Vasubandhu, and I'm finding them useful and helpful, especially in these times, because it's nice to have some handholds in this time. That's what I'm finding. The root teaching is the main source of suffering is the self-experiencing other, thinking things out there, othering things. Somehow we haven't outgrown this. Don't think we're going to. So we project all of our mental karma and tendencies onto out there, and lo and behold, we keep suffering in the same way over and over again. So according to Yogacara, there are two barriers. First one, the barrier of afflictive emotions, which is what the first half of the 30 verses are about, which is rooted in early Buddhism. And it uses something called the 8 consciousnesses. The essence of it is that to pay attention to bring understanding and practice with the afflictive emotions, to pay attention to anger and selfishness and confusion and anxiety and the State of the Union address and everything that you're probably, if you pay attention, is going to run through. It's like, just stay in the body, ground it, pay attention. There's wonderful possibilities to uncover all my ancient twisted karma, so that more and more we can let go of the afflictions, or at least wake up in the middle of them, not run with them so wholeheartedly. So we become aware of the power of our thinking and our emotional habits. And we practice mindfulness of body and emotional states. We can do this, right? We can do this. But it's really, really helpful to keep being reminded to do this. Because it's easy to get washed away and then just come back. Okay, the second barrier, which is going to be, we're in the first barrier, but then we'll transcend the first barrier, and then that's a joke. And then we'll go to the second barrier. The second barrier is the barrier of delusion, which is rooted in the Mahayana teachings, which is a study of the nature of phenomena and the three natures model, which I'm reading about. I'll teach you about it next week. It emphasizes letting go of delusion and letting go of, i.e., seeing things in ways that create alienation, i.e., to be aware of when you are othering, when we are othering out there and in here, because we do it to ourselves, right? We experience separation. And the more that we can just sit down in the center of it, there is a transformation, and that's the Yogacara, is it is possible. Transformation is possible at the level of paying attention and all the way through to the base, so that more and more we are free just to be here in this whole stream and flood and oceans of arisings and passings. And there's a ground that we keep watering, lots of water today, and affirming. The practice is then fundamentally to be aware of the interdependence of all things, and the practice of, it says, a meditation with no object, which is a breath practice is meditation with no object. Go ahead and grab onto your breath, try, and go ahead and try to change it. I mean, you can, but you're probably going to fall over or something. You just be with your breath exactly where it is, as it is. So the more we sit with these two, we wake up to that, the awareness that we don't know anything that isn't mediated by consciousness. That's how we know something, right? We take a piece of it and we pull it out, and then we think we know it, and we know it in opposition to something else or what we don't know, but it's always thinking mind that's creating the world. It's it's like being in a vast ocean, and the little head just keeps going. Although it's head and body, because you can't, the body is connected to the cells and the somatic therapy. I mean, we know these things, but it's this little being in the middle of the ocean that says, I'm here, I know something, I'm in control, whatever. I tend to, when I study these teachings, it tends to arise to me as like cartoons in my mind, but whatever you want with them. Would be great cartoons about Buddhism that would make it so accessible. I mean, think of all the wonderful things you could do. So we have the Four Noble Truths, we have the Eightfold Path, all the things that help us look at how the mind works and to encourage us in ways that we can wake up to the wondrous delusion and confusion of being a human being, and to actually land in the place where you love yourself and you love everybody more. That's the amazing thing. Okay, so the 30 verses. We're going to do all, no, first one. We did it last week, I think a little bit. The first one is about self and other. Thich Nhat Hanh, I like his translation on this one. Consciousness always includes subject and object. Self and other, inside and outside, are all creations of the conceptual mind. It's very clear. Vasubandhu says, pay attention. It's all a constant flow and process. It's all a mysterious unfolding. And we're trying to grab little pieces of it and put it in an order. And Thich Nhat Hanh says, our mind is a field in which every kind of seed is sown. Seeds of compassion, joy, and hope, seeds of sorrow, fear, and difficulties. Seeds refer to all the information that enters our awareness and gets stored in our consciousness. So we're doing a lot of picking and choosing, and most of it's completely unconscious. You sort of did this last week, but I have to keep doing it, so I figure maybe you'll forgive me too. Okay, second verse. Thich Nhat Hanh again. Consciousness has three parts: perceiver, perceived, and wholeness. And all seeds and formations are the same. Which is the 8 consciousnesses. So the 8 consciousnesses, you want to know what they all are?
Mhm.
That was good. That was quick. So do I. No, it's sometimes called the all. And it involves the imagery of the senses and the objects: sight, sound, smells, taste, touch, objects of mind, which is in the Heart Sutra, which is in the Mindfulness Sutra, which is, so the totality of our momentary experience is always made up of, we take the 6 consciousnesses, our experiences and our habits. So the I sees a sight, perceives a sight out there. It arises. We latch onto it. Then we like it. We don't like it. I'll go over it a little bit more. But to me, it always feels kind of amazing, because I never used to like this or understand it, and I still don't. But it feels to me like this quickening of how a human self gets born each moment. And it's really important that, because I know that when I first started practicing, and we were all young back then, and I think we thought we were going to we wanted to get over being the self that we were.
Mm.
It's like, finally, there's some wise nods here, and you just learn to sit right in the center of it. It's really not what you think it is, but you have to keep reminding yourself over and over again. The fascinating thing is to realize, and Yogacara really brings it forward, how much the reality that we're creating moment after moment is completely unconscious. It's like it's so deep in the storehouse consciousness. And then it comes up through our particular karmic formations. And we did a little of this at the all-day sitting. So let me just briefly, the 5 skandhas, which in the Heart Sutra, there's no eyes, no ears, no nose, no tongue, no body. No, what do you mean there's no that eyes, ears, nose, tongue? But what's the relationship to the form comes into sense contact, and so there's an interaction between the sense and the object. That's how we're creating reality more and all the time. And then there's a physical world out there. Then there's feeling tone to it. So it's like this thing happens. It's happening all the time. It comes in through your eyes and your ears and your skin and your mind. And I mean, it's just like we're just this little organ of alive. But we're in this alive world that's touching us, and we have our own particular formations and karma. But we also, there's the 10,000 things. So it's not just it's individual and collective. But you can begin to watch it when you sit like it, and you settle down, is maybe there's a feeling tone to the sound of the rain. And then there's a sensation of liking it or not liking it or neutral. It's happening all the time on every level. And then you more and more begin to prescribe concepts to it. And so you're searching your basic sense data. It's like before I went out today, it was like, oh, it's raining. Is the road going to be flooded? Am I going to drown? Am I going to die? Are people going to be okay? I mean, and then there's more and more of an impulse or formation or a volition, and it impels us to act in one way or another that has an emotion. So I thought, I'm just going to go anyway. And then I got out and it wasn't anything like what I thought, because it was a nice gentle rain and everybody's fine. And it's just, but we're doing this, just a little example. And then there's consciousness. And now there's an awareness of me describing to you what happened in that whole process. That is just one thing that I picked out of 100 million things. So the way that you can transform and wake up in the midst of all of this, because it's all Buddha. The whole world is Buddha's body. So we're going to start paying attention to one, the three transformations at the base is one, it's called the ripening of karma. Karma is not bad in its nature. Karma is just action or activity. The Buddha teaches karma is intention. And having intended, one does karma through body, speech, and mind. So we are creating karma through each choice that we're reinforcing our karmic formations each moment by the choices we make. The more you're aware of it, the more you can, like, I'm glad I didn't stay home scared. I'm glad I walked out the door. But maybe that in another situation, that would have been a really dumb thing to do. So you're paying attention all the time because it's alive. So our past actions, conditions, past impressions, the karmic seeds come together to form our present experience. Tendencies, impressions, the unconscious aspect of life colors what we think is reality and why we act the way we do. Kind of humbling, isn't it? And wondrous. Doesn't it make you like want to wake up and be more just like, this is what we're all doing? And then we go out and shout at each other or shout at ourselves and kill each other. And so that's the first one, is becoming more aware of the karmic formations. The thing that's unique to Yogacara, and again, don't hang on to this, but I think it's helpful, because obviously some really smart people thought it was helpful for a long time, so I'm willing to give them the benefit of the doubt, is manas. Is that part of this is there's something they called manas, which was consciousness of a self. And the manas, whatever it is, you can see maybe why I want to get into little cartoons here. I don't think it has a form, but it creates a sense that there's a self over and over at the center of this. So that no matter what's happening, our storytelling mind, our manas storytelling mind, is always creating some story. It's like, it wasn't just the rain falling and the sound and I had a whole story that came up that I completely believed, and I also completely didn't believe. And then the third part of it is the whole thing where all of this is happening. This is what we talked about on Sunday, is the storehouse consciousness, or the alaya vijnana, which is the process by which the karmic seeds ripen, and reactions and conduct. So it's like the storehouse is by its nature not good or bad or otherwise, but it's very active. And what we water conditions what arises out of it, and how we act, and how deeply attached we are to the self and to other, and to all the karmic formations that come up, that we both enact with kindness and we enact with all the other not kind things that we do. Not you, of course, but me. So the storehouse consciousness, the first of these is also called Alaya, the storehouse consciousness, which contains all karmic seeds. What it holds and its perception of location are unknown. You can't find it. It's perceived and defined as the deepest level of consciousness. And this is from Ben. Storehouse consciousness dictates many of the things we do because storehouse consciousness continuously receives, embraces, maintains, processes, and makes many decisions without the participation of mind consciousness. So it's like this garden, and the mind consciousness is the gardener. It's it's kind of picking and choosing and picking this impulse and acting on it, or this volition and acting on it, but that it's the soil. It's the soil Suzuki Roshi is talking about, but you can't grab hold of it. Yogacara says that human beings perceive a world that is determined by the habits of emotion, perceptions, and thought held in the storehouse. This is the innovation of Yogacara. It holds our karma. And in each moment, it's processing our karma, forming and transforming. And one of the most pervasive habits of consciousness is to divide the elements of experience into self and other. Pay attention. It's like I really enjoy is maybe stretching it, but the great thing about this time, like if you go to a quote protest, because I don't care what you all have to, but if I feel like I have to, my body has to show up somehow, but then I get there and everybody's up. You have to be protesting something, right? But then once you think you're protesting something, then all these emotions and these conditions and these and then you're standing there and I think it's why people like the peace monks so much, is they just didn't do anything but walk for peace. It's a little simpler. But I also have to say is I also like the mess of showing up and having to just say, what am I in this life, in the hell realms, is what am I doing here and how do I want to be here? Which is to pay attention on this level. I kind of like this stuff. So 4, you still with me? Okay, well, this is good. I love it. So aspects of consciousness, as Yogacara and this teaching brings forward, is number 4, is it is always associated with sense contact, attention, sensation, perception, and volition. But in the storehouse consciousness, it's neither pleasant nor unpleasant. It is completely unobstructive and karmically neutral, flowing like a river. In enlightenment, it is overturned at its root, which we'll see later is enlightenment's just another idea. It's this alive flowing. So how much can we just enter into what is Zazen? It's alive. Number 5, dependent on the store consciousness and taking it as its objects, manas. Here's this manas. I kind of want to draw manas. What would manas look like? The consciousness of a self. It's like the Tibetans study this, and Tibetans have demons, and they work with demons, and it's very visual and pictorial. So maybe I'm not so far off. I should anyway. Manas, the consciousness of a self arises, which consists of thinking. We're creating our world all the time, and the thinking creates me. So Dogen says, think not thinking. It's a really famous one. What is it to think not thinking? You can't figure it out, but it's a really good, or think non-thinking. Because you can't stop the thinking. You can't make your heart stop beating. The brain secretes thoughts. So don't get into trying to fight it. But you can just be in the midst of it. And one of the classic ones is it's like clouds and a boundless in an empty sky. You're just moving, and sensations and feelings. It's an alive feel. Because manas, is intimately related to dissatisfaction, to suffering, to afflictions. It's always operating. It never lets go of storehouse consciousness. It's always embracing, always holding, or sticking to storehouse consciousness. So we sit with our experience right now. We can see the six senses arising and passing, just stuff that's happening. See, hear, felt, sense, sensations in the body, and emotions and thoughts. This actually, because I was a therapist for many years, is it's really important to do therapy around certain, I mean, if you're suffering and it's particular, therapy can be enormously helpful, and it helped me. And I mean, I love that I have that frame. But there's, and maybe it's somatic therapy is when you enter into the body, or what is it to go beyond the story? Because I think we can all get stuck in our stories and our childhood stories. And then we think that's who we are. And then we think that's who my mother was. And I mean, 100 million. And it's all, I mean, it's really helpful to know that history, but it's also, I didn't mean to do this, but it's also, it's like I have two sisters and we all have completely different stories about my family system because we grew up in a different time. And then, we get mad at each other because one thinks that and one thing. It's just, it's just endless. So how do you, I mean, I always felt, and I still feel, it's the question of just how do you sit in the center? How do you be present with yourself and what's happening in the room and with the other, and how do you open your heart to, I'm confused, you're confused. I hurt, you hurt. I love, you love. We all just want to be here together and be good human beings and to help the world not be what it is. So Yogacara practice is, instead of being mere repeaters of our habits and conditioning, we can be intentional participants in the way our habits and beliefs are formed. There's a choice in each moment. What seed are you going to water? Which I'm really enjoying right now, and we'll get into the second part of this, is how do we be here completely in this time, not deny any of it, not turn away from any of it, but also keep watering the seeds of goodness and of I don't want to make you into an other. And what's happening is heartbreaking. It's like your heart starts breaking, which is really different than being angry and afraid, which is also, can be appropriate emotions. So again, according to Thich Nhat Hanh, our mind is a field in which every kind of seed is sown. Seeds of compassion, joy, and hope. Seeds of sorrow, fear, and difficulties. What are we watering? How do we take care of the soil? That was good, huh? Cool. Wow. I've been studying. I study and then I write all my notes and then I read it again and then I mean it's sort of like how you it's just practice and then I think and then you start making connections and then things and because I keep thinking because I keep wanting to get it for myself but I want to get it for you and be able to share it with all of you, but you can go read the books too, because then you'll come to me and you'll teach me things that will all just help wake each other up. Okay, so here's a question that I thought I'd send you off with, but you can talk about any of this. Can you, we'll go into groups of 3 or 4, bring awareness, get a confidentiality, don't throw yourself over the boat, just little things. Actions of body, speech, and mind that feel repetitious and karmic. Just something, what do you notice on a daily basis where it's like, there it is again. I mean, small little things. They can also be, maybe I say this a lot, but I just, Bruce, my partner is like, I can't, it's what? why do I keep projecting stuff on him after all these years, you know? There's a little more space and kindness and love, and I remember quicker, but it may be also something you're doing with yourself. I mean, there's like, where's, just bring up one instance of ancient twisted karma, but bring it up with kindness and compassion. It's like, even if there might be a moment of humor or tenderheartedness, so that as we bring it up, we're going to water it with just, it's just like, oh, this is what it is to be a human being. Okay?